but they do that in the studio version.
Hi, I'm Matt Haveran. I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Me and my wife, or my wife and I, currently reside in Ridgway, Iowa, and I am a test tech at Rockwell Collins.
My name is Angela Minks. I was born in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I live in Waukon, Iowa now. I am the Associate Director at Mosaic.
Roger Sanford, born in Warren, Ohio, currently live in Decorah, and occupation is avionics electronics technician.
All right, my name is Paul Nye. I was born in Salem, Virginia, currently living in Waukon, just down the street, and I'm an industrial engineer for Rockwell Collins in Decorah.
My name is Trevor Minks. I was born in Cresco, Iowa. I live in Waukon, Iowa, and currently I'm employed at the school as a paraeducator, and I also manage the theater here in Waukon, Main Feature Theater.
My name is DJ Schultes. I was born in Lansing. Well, actually, I was born in Waukon and we immediately went to Lansing. Current residence is Waukon, and I kind of do a lot of different things. I'm the at-risk interventionist at the Alma Key Community School District here, and then the worship pastor here at Iron Ridge.
Emily Hook, born in Guttenberg, Iowa, and live in Decorah currently, and I am a stay-at-home mom and work part-time as an accountant.
Hi, my name is Emily Kulshrud. I was born in Waukon. I live in Waukon now, and I'm a junior in high school.
So I'm the keyboardist in the band, and I do a little bit of third part harmony. I think I've been in the band for a couple of years now, and we've been with Iron Ridge about, I say 3 or 4?
Been part of the band for 4 years, part of Iron Ridge for 5, play mainly bass, fill in guitar, and also the worship team administrator, help DJ.
I went to school for music performance, decided that's not what I wanted to do, but I still wanted to sing. It's a great passion of mine, so I became a member of Iron Ridge, I want to say 10 years ago. I also have been in the band for about that long. So I actually started going to Iron Ridge at a really tough time in my life. My parents were getting a divorce, and this is part of my testimony actually. I was at that point with my relationship. I don't think I had a great relationship with God to begin with. I think it was pretty superficial. But I said, you know, if my parents are getting divorced, there's not a God. He just doesn't exist. And so my mom said, one last try. She's like, just go to youth group. And Iron Ridge had a youth group going on. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to go. And I purposely would work on Sundays, so I'd have that excuse not to go to church. But she talked me into going to youth group at Iron Ridge, and that is where I met my husband, who is Brian. Brian Minks, the associate pastor here, and Marlon and Terry just took me under their wing and showed me what it means to have a relationship with God, and just grew from there.
I play the lead guitar. I've been with the band for a little over a year. It just kind of happened after church one day. When the church was still at the theater, we just struck up a conversation with DJ, and one thing led to another, and got to talking about how I've played guitar for 15 years, and he was like, you should come to practice someday. So I did, and then a couple weeks later I was on stage.
I'm the drummer. I was basically born into the band since my dad was the pastor. So at that point we had no choice. I do sing a little bit, but I'm a little shy, so.
So you never will sing up there?
I shouldn't say never, but I mean, I think I enjoy the music a little bit more. Drum set I get to hide behind a little bit, so, and, you know, it's a little safety net.
Right, yeah, so I am the worship pastor, like I said, and I came to be part of the band back in 2010, which is a long time ago. At least it feels like a long time ago, 7 years ago. And I was invited by Angela Minks, She just stopped by randomly one day and said, well, I had moved back from Iowa State, and I was kind of looking for a place to go, looking for a job, looking for where I wanted to live. I had just graduated, so everything was fresh, you know, and Angela just happened to stop by this day, kind of out of the blue, just to say hi to everybody, and didn't know I was home. And we started talking about church stuff, and she invited me to Iron Ridge, and I came by, and the first song the band did was by Linkin Park, and that's weird, but I like it, so I'm gonna come back. And next thing you know, I started getting involved, started talking, and yeah, Terry asked me if I wanted to come by for practice, and I did.
I play the keyboard and do a little bit of singing when needed. I've been in the band probably about 2 to 3 years, I think, off and on, filling in mostly. I was regular for a while, and it just got to be a little too much commitment, so I pulled back a little bit, and now it's worked out great, about once a month. One Sunday when we were still in the theater, Marlon mentioned something about using your gifts and talents, and that there's many different places where they can be used. That was one place where I've always wanted to be a part of a music group and really admire the musicians we have. So I thought if there was something I could do to help vocally or instrumentally, then I would offer my services, and that just turned into what it is today.
I sing backup vocals, and I've been singing for about 6 months now, I'd say. And I don't know, we just kind of came here one week and really fell in love with the church. Yeah, I am in choir, and I actually went to a summer camp when I was younger, and they have a band there at the summer camp, and it's just always kind of been a dream of mine to be able to spread what God's given me, my voice, to other people.
So we practice every Wednesday, starting at about 5 o'clock. So from 5 to 6, we started doing this thing where we start writing our own songs. We call it our songwriting session. And then from 6 to 7, it's Sunday morning stuff. And it usually goes pretty smoothly. If we kind of stick to a system, we get through it pretty well. But there's times where songs kind of surprise us, where we either do really well with it that first go around, and we don't need to practice as much. But then there's other times where the song's really difficult, and it takes up the entirety of practice and just kind of throws everything off. So we kind of have to be adaptable in that. As far as planning it and getting it going, I take input from everybody and anybody, I guess within reason. If you're gonna ask me to do a Katy Perry song, I'm just gonna not do that, but for multiple reasons. But the input really comes from our staff, songs that they've heard or things that have moved them. Definitely from the team. Whenever they suggest something, we look into what it would look like to put that together as a band. Because one of the things we like to do is not just do the music part of it, because I think anybody can really throw something together. But we want to do it to a point of excellence, so that, because we're worshiping the God of the universe, the God of heaven and earth. Why wouldn't we want to be as excellent as possible? So if we have a song, we put the effort and energy into it, so that way it is done well and it moves people. And we try not to make it distracting, so we try to do as best as we can. The planning process is it's a week-long thing, so I'm always trying to look 2-3 weeks ahead. What music's coming up, what songs do we need to learn, and planning each practice out for the future, the next 3-4 weeks. Like right now we're looking at Christmas stuff already. It's September, but as soon as Thanksgiving's done, we're going to start with Christmas music. And since everybody in the team works full-time, some of them have kids, some of them live great distances away, really have to utilize each practice. And so starting Christmas music in September may seem weird, but it makes sense. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy process, because we have a thing called Planning Center, which we load all of our songs into. And I think we have well over 200 songs that we've done in the last 5-6 years, and that we're continuing to add to. And this website will pull up our music, the YouTube videos that we can play along with. It'll pull up a scheduling program so I can plug people in. It'll send them an email to remind them that they are on the schedule this week. It'll send them an email that they're on the schedule next week. They can look ahead months and months and months at music if I've ever planned that, which I've never done, but that's what we have the capability of doing.
Oh goodness. I'd have to say my favorite. I think it's Manifesto, and that might just because I like playing it. I really love getting into that song.
Yeah, you know, we currently are doing our own music, which I really enjoy doing. But You Make Me Brave is probably my top right now. I just think there's a lot of fire in that song and a lot of drive. So I really enjoy the picked up spirit in that. So.
Yeah, but I can't get through it without crying, so we haven't done it in a while.
What is the name of it?
It is called Blessings by Laura Story.
I don't really have a favorite because I just love playing with the band, and I think that we put so much effort and energy into doing a good job with everything. I enjoy everything we do.
Anything that's not too hard for me to play.
Probably It's Here's My Heart, Lord, too, just because that's my favorite song that we sing, yeah.
Initially, when I first started the band or joined the band, I was pretty nervous anytime every Sunday. But as by the time we moved into this building, I was, it's second nature.
In the beginning, I got really nervous and would really worry about it. Then I realized no one ever notices because I would ask Jen, did you hear that? Did you hear this? And she goes, no, I never even heard anything. So now I just smile, laugh, and move forward.
So nerves are pretty tough to handle, especially on songs that I'm really passionate about and really wanting to play well. An example is Dirty Laundry that we played a couple weeks back. It's got a very, very technical solo in it that took me a lot of time to practice. I spent 2 weeks of playing that, probably about an hour a day, to learn it all down, and spent so much time on it that when the time came to actually play it, I could feel the butterflies coming. And really the only way to combat that for me is just to smile, take a deep breath, and realize, you know what, it doesn't matter if I nail it or if I screw up every note. I'm really the only one that's going to know that, me and my wife, because she listens to me practice it.
That's a good question. I don't really get nervous, being honest. Yeah. So as far as nerves go, I really don't get that nervous. Maybe the thing that might get me there a little bit would be starting a song. So I got to make sure that I can count out, and transitioning from one song to the next, it makes it a little more difficult. So I just have to make sure I'm ready and prepared for that.
Prayer, hands down. Like whenever I get nervous or anything, that just calms me. All the butterflies go away. Practice. If it happens during, it stinks, you did it, but I love my church. I love the people that are here. I love the band, and everyone's so forgiving, and they're just like, get up and you keep going. It's
Really, it's one of the best things, besides my family, being, it's kind of like my family away from home as well, I don't know, like ever since we joined and ever since I joined the band, like, I've finally, I've found another, big purpose in my life, and that, it's really, piano is something that brings me joy, and it's really nice that I can, spread that joy with others.
I can tell you what it means to my life is it definitely brings me joy. This is a group of people that I know and trust, and feel that we work really well together. I know that we all feel that we can count on each other through thick and thin. Everyone up there is like my brother, so. And I guess Jasmine and Emily are like, they're our recent newbies, and they're doing really great, and they feel like family.
It's been a very big confidence booster, and knowing that I am a good singer and that just in the end, like, I'm giving my word out to Christ and I'm doing my job in letting people know who He is and how He can change people.
Well, it's a huge honor, first of all. I think the rest of the team is amazing. They are all very committed members and here every single Sunday. I'm honored to play next to them and kind of feed off of their musical skills. The things that they can do and figure out and the songs they write are pretty amazing. So that's a blessing to me. And I always come away from practice and from church service just feeling great about what we've done.
It's allowed me to, being that I'm a more quiet person and don't open up a whole lot to people, to be in a group where we can, you know, freely have a good time, talk with each other, and just it's helped me come out of the shell in a lot of ways. So.
That's a good question. It is one of the best things I think that's ever happened to me. You know, the ability to be able to play music and bring people to worship, and to also just allow them to praise God, I think is huge. And yeah, I think it's awesome that I get the opportunity to do that. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the best things that's ever happened.
Well, being a member of the band is a dream come true. I've playing guitar for so long. I've always wanted to be playing with a band and writing music, and this has been one of the greatest opportunities of my life, getting to play with a band. It's something that I've really enjoyed doing and I really love doing, and I look forward to every week coming to practice, especially when we're going to be working on new original music and working on with vocals. So it's been a blessing for sure to be a part of the band, and I've loved every minute of it.
I think what it means to me is that, well, I'm part of something that this area isn't used to, and probably shouldn't exist here. I mean, that's the thing, like a church like this shouldn't exist here. I grew up in this area. I mean, sure, people go to church and that's just kind of how things are, but something like this is huge. This is a big thing. This is different. This is a way of approaching God that's it's active, it's engaging, it's in your face, it's inviting, and yet at the same time it's invasive. And so for me to be part of that, it's incredible. I mean, to be part of something that God's doing in the midst of a place that is seeking Jesus but doesn't necessarily always welcome every way to Him. I guess that's a long way of saying this area is tough to minister to, and something like this, to be part of it, is just it's moving. It's incredible to feel God's presence in this, and so it means a lot. What it brings to my life is a sense of clarity of the gospel, because I think that if you understand what the gospel means and what the death of Christ really means in our lives, I don't think you can help but take every opportunity, every skill and every talent that you have, every position that you hold in life. I don't think you can not give that back to God fully and wholly. And so what it brings to my life is a sense of clarity and reliance on what the gospel is, and how much I wish other people knew it. And so I really go after it that way. I really approach it that way, because I can't change people's hearts. We know that. That's something only God can do. But I can take that message and I can present it in a way that I can give 110% to, because God has worked in me, and now I'm working to present it to someone else, hoping that God reaches into them and just turns that key just enough that they can walk through and do their own little altar call in their heart, just come to Jesus moment. So it just brings a sense of peace and joy and clarity and just hope. I think that's what it does mostly, is it brings a sense of hope to what I'm doing and to what we suffer through. So what I'm suffering through, what I'm joyful about, I mean, it brings a sense of purpose and hope to that.